Yo, what's up guys, it's TBAG, and as promised, today we're gonna talk about the problems in Battlefield 2042. I already said on Twitter that before I'm gonna make a video critiquing the game, I first want to put some more hours into it over the weekend with the day 1 patch. Before, I didn't really get around to really sit down and have like a multiple hour play session on my own pace, my own style, stuff like that. But now that I have, I feel I can finally make this video without, feeling rushed to jump on the bandwagon. Either the hate bandwagon or the love bandwagon. So far, I've seen a big part of the community absolutely dogging on this game. Like really going fist first, trashing on the game. And the other part of the community is actually doing the exact opposite. A lot of people really enjoy this game. And of course, they have every right to do so. If people are having fun, more power to them. But where do I stand on all of this? Do I like the game? Do I hate it? The answer is very conveniently right in the middle. So I played over the weekend, and about 50% of the time I actually had a really good time. I really enjoyed it. Things were going good, not a lot of TBAG BS, some cool grand scale fun that we know and love of the Battlefield franchise. And then the other 50% of the time I played, I actually wanted to bash my own skull in with a baseball bat and then jump headfirst into a pit of molten lava. It's really something with this game. There are a lot of small issues with the game, and then a couple of big issues, like very big problems that I simply do not understand. Let me begin by saying that when it comes to performance, this game actually runs very well on next gen. On my PS5 I haven't noticed that many performance issues, to be honest. Pretty much no frame drops, and I only had one crash, which is one too many, don't get me wrong, but I haven't experienced anything close to what people are reporting to experience on PC, so that at least is a good thing. I haven't checked it on last gen yet, might do that for a video very soon, but on my PS5 it plays very smoothly. However, server performance on the other hand, so I'm not talking about the game's optimization, I'm strictly talking about server issues like lag, rubber banding, hit rage, desync, input delay, or often not even registering my input at all, is really bad. Just infuriatingly bad, if that's even a word. I don't get it. If you are a smart person and you know a thing or two about game development, please leave a comment down below. Explain to me how a company that is supposedly working on this title for an extra year and saying they were ahead of schedule is launching a product with these specific type of issues, especially when they learned from Battlefield 4 and all the Battlefield games that came after. I mean, I get it, people are working from home, I respect that, that's gotta be a major hurdle to overcome, on top of the fact that this is a very demanding game, with 128 players, insane map sizes, stuff like that. But it's clear to me that this game should have had another 6 months of development time, or at least 3 months. I don't know, it should have been delayed again, that's for sure. There are so many things that are either missing or not working properly, and I just can't wrap my head around some of these decisions. And these are actual decisions that have been made. Things like no scoreboard, like really? Somebody actually sat down with their team of executives or whatever kind of people, I don't know how this works internally, but people actually came up with the idea of not having a basic scoreboard in game. If you want to see if you are on top of the scoreboard in the lobby, that is not possible. What you get instead is this weird, hard to read, maybe it's just me, but still, hard to read, toned down version of a scoreboard. And all I want is a simple, vanilla scoreboard. Show me a list of all the players in the server, show me the score, KD, stuff like that. Hell, if I try to check my stats for my account, that's not even possible. What is the vehicle I have the most kills with? Guns I have the most kills with. Score per minute, kills per minute, lifetime KD, hours played. Just basic stuff like that. It was in Battlefield 5. Why did they take it out? Was it an afterthought and is it still going to be implemented after launch? Or was this a deliberate decision backed by some data that we don't know of? Because I just refuse to believe that the lack of a scoreboard will help with the retention of the casual player base for this game. I just don't buy it. And that's just the scoreboard. How about a server browser? There is no server browser in Battlefield 2042, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. In pretty much all Battlefield games of the last decade, there was a server browser. Is this to implement some sort of skill-based matchmaking? Because if that's the case, I will just stop playing multiplayer games altogether. Maybe I'll become a Let's Play YouTuber, that's pretty cool. Oh, and by the way, I know that Portal has a server browser technically, but that doesn't count obviously. I want a server browser for all-out warfare. Another thing that really grinds my gears is the fact that the lobbies disband after the match ends. If I matchmake into a game of Breakthrough, let's say, with quick play, because there is no server browser, and I'm on the defending team, usually that means that the next game, the attackers become the defenders and vice versa. Now, if I'm on the defending team, There is no point in trying to wait for the game to end to be on the attacker side, because the lobby ends, you have to join into another server through quick play again, and just be lucky that you are on the attacking team. And that's another thing, by the way. You can't switch teams just like in Battlefield 5. You could in Battlefield 1, but not in Battlefield 5 and in Battlefield 2042 anymore. There is no team switch. Everything is determined through quick play, and the maps as well. For example, my most recent video that I uploaded not too long ago was on the map Breakaway, the biggest map in the game. You know how long it took to get into a game on this map? Really long, because you can't choose which map to play on. I think that's ridiculous. Spectating is now also a thing of the past, because there is, again, like I said, no server browser. You can't join as a spectator. So let's say you are in a game with a cheater. So far, I don't think there have been cheaters, which is a really good thing, by the way. But let's say in the near future there are gonna be cheaters, most likely. So let's say you are in a game with a cheater and you want to know for sure, so you decide to back out and actually spectate them. You can't. There is no spectating in Battlefield 2042 as far as I'm aware. Again, a very weird decision. But let's talk more about gameplay now, because all of these things I just mentioned are relatively easy to fix in my opinion, but it doesn't change some of the problems I have with the gameplay. I'm gonna start off with the single most frustrating thing in this game for me, and that is the controls. I don't know exactly what it is, but let's just say that in Battlefield 5 I was pretty good on controller. In Battlefield 2042 I feel like I'm playing with my left ass cheek. I don't have any fine controls over my aim. I think it has something to do with the input delay, and I also think it has something to do with the broken aim assist. This was a problem that quickly became apparent in the beta, but I also have the feeling that something is wrong with the aim assist here in the final build of the game. I'm not saying it should be as strong as it is in Warzone, for example, but right now it just doesn't work properly. I've seen many people say this, and you know, combining the weird aim assist with the input delay, I just can't perform well in game, not at all. And I know it sounds like I'm making excuses for my crappy gameplay, but trust me, the difference between my abilities in Battlefield 5 and my abilities in Battlefield 2042 is just night and day. But obviously the biggest elephant in the room is the gunplay. It's pretty bad. Not as bad as in Battlefield 1, but it's still pretty bad. The excessive amount of bloom you have in this game is ridiculous. I'm sure you've seen some clips on Reddit and Twitter where people perfectly aim on target and literally none of the shots actually connect. In fact, this is exactly what Morpheus was talking about in The Matrix.
Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air.
Bloom is a really weird mechanic that should have stayed in the past in my opinion. Yes, it creates new ways for the developers to balance guns and stuff like that, but nowadays people just want their shots to go where they're aiming, as it should in my opinion. This is why it feels so weird coming back to games like Battlefield 4, you know, just outdated gameplay features like this. However, I'm hopeful that this will be fixed in Battlefield 2042 relatively soon, or at least tweaked to some degree. It needs to be better than this. Also, can you actually change your squad in game? I have literally no idea. I think not, and if that's the case, that's really dumb. If you have bad squad mates, you're just stuck with them for the entire game. How stupid is that? In Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1, I regularly switch between squads, either to have a better spawn point or because my squad mates were pretty trash, and I would like to have the ability to change my squad, if you know what I mean. Another small thing that I haven't seen anybody complain about at all, but something that annoys me personally, is the fact that the kill feed doesn't work properly. In the options menu, you can change the kill feed to show the kills from only your team, or only your squad, only yourself, only nearby, and all, but it doesn't do anything, so I think it's busted at the moment. Hopefully it will be fixed soon. However, something that is actually a very big deal, but luckily is on the list to being fixed soon, is the revive bug. If you are down and want to be revived, you better not be killed near any objects, because if you do, you can't be revived, simple as that. Another thing when it comes to being revived at the moment is the fact that you don't have any indication of nearby medics and whether or not they are coming to revive you. In Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1, it was a very simple but very good design. You could see just how far a medic or squadmate was and whether or not they would come to help you. So I hope to see something like that soon in Battlefield 2042. Something else I haven't seen anybody complain about is the fact that vaulting over obstacles now interrupts your reloading animation. In previous Battlefield games, once you started your reload animation, you could jump and vault over as many obstacles as you wanted, but in the background, your gun would still be reloading. That's not the case anymore, sadly. I can't tell you how many times I was in the middle of a reload, had incoming fire, vaulted some things to get to cover, and then tried to re-engage, only to notice that my gun wasn't reloaded, and yeah, then I died. I hope they will revert this change, because it was way better the way it was. We are also missing some key info in the kill notifications. Now, I want to say that they did actually listen to the feedback of the community and change the kill notification system. It looks really good now, but we do miss some things. For example, if you get a long range headshot with a sniper rifle, it no longer shows a marksman bonus. This used to indicate the range of your headshot kill and give you some extra XP. That's not the case anymore. Another thing that's missing is the amount of damage you do against a vehicle. Also against infantry, but with vehicles it's more noticeable. For example, if you shoot a tank, you only see a different shaped hit marker indicating that you hit actually enemy armor, but you can't see how much damage you did. If you hit a tank from the front, it usually does less damage than if you hit a tank from the back. But with no damage indicator, you can't really, actually tell the amount of damage you're doing, which is obviously less info than you should be getting. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you get a vehicle kill assist in Battlefield 2042 as of now. If you damage a tank for, let's say, 99 damage, and someone else is getting the final kill, you are not rewarded with any assist whatsoever, right? Pretty sure that was the case in Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1. We did, however, get a forced bailout notification with a bonus XP in Battlefield 2042, which is really good. And speaking of vehicles, in my opinion, there isn't much variety in terms of loadout options for the vehicles themselves. There aren't really that many vehicles to begin with in Battlefield 2042, which is interesting because that's one of the few good things in Battlefield 5 that was done correctly. You had a lot of different vehicles in Battlefield 5. For example, in Battlefield 2042, you have just one airplane, which is the stealth jet, and you have one for the American faction and one for the Russian faction. So in total, you technically have two airplanes, but they are pretty much the exact same. Only difference, I believe, is the fact that the F-35 can go into VTOL mode and the Su-57 cannot. Both of them also have the same options for weaponry, 2 different types of cannons and 3 different types of missiles. But if you look at Battlefield 5, you have 20 different planes, and I know some of them may be similar, but the ones who are similar each have different loadout options. And although I never really was a fan of the skill tree system, you can see just how in-depth the vehicle customization goes compared to Battlefield 2042. Each plane can have somewhere between 12 and 18 different loadout options. That type of versatility is now gone in Battlefield 2042, sadly. Just the overall content seems low compared to other Battlefield games. And I know the game just launched, but still, only one type of plane? At least Battlefield 4 had a stealth jet and an attack jet. And like I said, it feels weird to talk in favor of Battlefield 5. It's just unnatural to me, but these are facts. Another thing Battlefield 5 did way better is footstep audio. Actually, audio balance in general seems much better in Battlefield 5. Battlefield 1 still takes it when it comes to actual sound design, but if we look at footstep audio specifically, for example, in Battlefield 5 there was, in my opinion, a perfect balance between the actual noise of the enemy's footsteps, your own footsteps, your teammates' footsteps, and then the ambient sounds of the environment and sound effects and stuff like that. So it wasn't like Call of Duty where you could hear somebody crouch walk on the other side of the map. No, you actually had to listen to kind of get an idea of where the enemy might be. And that gave you a chance to catch enemies that were running up on you. But also from the other perspective, it gives you a chance to flank enemies and get the drop on people. Whereas in Battlefield 2042, I don't know about you guys, but I just can't hear enemy footsteps at all. Also, when they come up on the zipline, zero audio cues. I get that making this too loud could ruin a lot of things, but right now I don't hear anything. And when I do hear something, I don't know whether the enemy is one plank length away from me or in a completely other building across the street. So audio location, balance thing, whatever you want to call it, needs to be improved in Battlefield 2042 as well. Also, speaking of sound, I know most people know this already, but now in Battlefield 2042 you actually do appear on the enemy's minimap when firing a gun without a suppressor or without subsonic ammo. For the last 2 Battlefield games that wasn't the case, and I actually like that better. It wasn't until I actually sunk some hours into Battlefield 2042 over the weekend when I realized showing up on the minimap when firing a gun kinda sucks. Imagine if you have an amazing flank and you have a bunch of enemies in front of you, you only have to fire 1 round and every enemy with a working pair of eyes instantly knows your pinpoint location. Let me know what you guys think. I don't really like it, to be honest. Also, about the minimap, you can't change the zoom levels, I believe. In Battlefield 1, for example, you could actually select a separate input for this specific action, and I chose to swipe up on the touchpad of my PS4 controller. That is no longer an option in Battlefield 2042. You also don't see the elevation of the enemies on your minimap, so you don't know if they are above you or below you. Peeking is also not possible anymore. Not too many people used it in previous Battlefield games, but it was still nice to have in my opinion. Maybe they got rid of it to combat head glitching, I don't know. Spawn killing is back as well, which is really weird because we had a similar problem in Battlefield 5 as well early on. When a game just starts, the helicopters and planes can just instantly destroy infantry on the ground, which is just kinda lame. We also no longer have platoons or clans, again such a simple feature to have in a game. Resupply stations are also gone, would be nice to have them on some objectives and scattered here and there around the map. Community servers are not staying online if nobody's playing on them. I guess that's kind of a technical issue in regards to the amount of servers EA has and stuff, but to retain a healthy player base, especially for Portal, I think this is a must. I think these are the main issues of the game. Obviously, it's a bit nitpicking here and there, but I always believe that a new game in the franchise should be a step forward in most aspects of the game, not backwards. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of good things in Battlefield 2042 that are great to have compared to other Battlefield games, like the verticality, mobility options, the cool weather system that I personally really like. They got rid of the attrition system, which is really good. Same goes for the fact that you regenerate your health again, and a bunch more. But this video was made primarily to look at the bad stuff, and not in a way to bash the game, but more so to map all of the issues while also giving feedback. My number one priority for this game as a controller player on console is to fix the input. I don't know what it is, all I know is that I should be playing much better than what I'm doing right now in Battlefield 2042. Anyway, that's about it for the video. I'm still gonna be making content for Battlefield 2042 obviously, as I know that beneath all of the BS is a very good game. And I do enjoy it sometimes, it's just that the enjoyment is not consistent for me and often goes paired with insane rage and crippling depression. So I hope DICE fixes all of the main issues as soon as possible. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, it really helps the channel out. Let me know down below anything I might have missed. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to join the Discord server, link is down below. And with that being said, I see you guys next time.